Thank you, Mr. Tracy. Okay, so at this point, I am looking for the closed session resolutions for the community account. Mr. Sharma, I believe you have a motion for us.
Yes, to approve sponsorship in the amount of $1,000 for the Shelldale Golf Tournament and $500 for the Michael House Golf Tournament.
I believe the amount was $1,500 for the Shelldale.
Oh, was it $1,500? $1,500. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. And do we have a seconder? Councillor Alt? All in favor? Opposed? I declare that item carried. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is presentations and delegations. And I'm going to call on the chief, if you could please introduce our presenters.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And everybody can hear me? We're good with audio? Yep. So thanks very much. As you recall, we had a lot of good discussions as part of our multi-year budget last fall. And one of the key things as part of that multi-year plan in year one was to kind of fortify and increase our ability to support our frontline response and our downtown. Our community has told us loud and clear many times how important the downtown is to them. And so what we wanted to do is kind of come back to the community today to give an update with respect to some of the support initiatives that we've been able to put into place in the last couple of months since January. And so I wanted to introduce Inspector Andrew Goody, who leads our community response teams, our downtown teams, to give us some of the highlights with respect to the work that's been done in the last few months. Andrew, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Chief. Thank you, Chair McSherry, and to the board for your time. Just going to take a little bit here and provide some updates on the strategies we've deployed in supporting our downtown. And as I go through that, I want you to remember that context, supporting our downtown, because that actually has been the theme for all our community response units as we've worked into these initiatives into 2024. So any response, either proactive or reactive, is based on providing continued support to our downtown, including the businesses, support agencies, and our general downtown community. As you know, our service has deployed a number of strategies to support the downtown in the past and future. Some of these strategies are new and others are modifications to existing ones. So I just want to give you a quick breakdown of what our officer deployment in the downtown looks like. So currently there are 2 members from every platoon who are assigned to Zone 4, which is our general response to the greater downtown area. There's 1 officer per platoon who's dedicated to Zone 9, which really focuses in on the localized responses to downtown initiatives. We have 2 full-time downtown community response officers. We both know them very well with Mark and Connor. And we now have 1 full-time CMHA worker, Kim Ketcher. So in total, there are 14 full-time police resources who are dedicated to working in the downtown, and now the 1 additional impact worker that we've brought on. Your daily potential means that you could have up to 5 officers plus Kim working in the downtown on any given day. Just to speak briefly to what our Zone 9 deployment looks like. So Zone 9 is really the core, the right downtown part of our community. These officers are specifically asked to resolve and work on issues that are brought forward to us. So they report directly to our YCSU unit supervisor, Sergeant Mark Pettipiece, and he will provide them with any concerns that have come through me. So, for example, recently I get emails from community members talking about, drug use in stairwells or concerns with loitering out front of businesses. These are passed along and specifically assigned to officers so that a response can be, put in place, but also documented within our own documentation system. This allows officers, they're able to both proactively and reactively and, initiate, enforcement, but also supporting our community as they're assigned these tasks. Overall police statistics from January to May 15th. So I just wanted to highlight when we say supporting our community, a lot of this is about engaging our community with community contacts. So from January 1st to May 15th, we've had approximately 1,145 documented community contacts in the city of Guelph. So we call those 984s. Of that 1,145, 493 of those have occurred within our downtown or Zone 4. So a little under half of our community contacts have occurred in the downtown. This demonstrates the effective service our organization can provide to the community when appropriate resourcing is allocated. Of note, actually, and we spoke to Connor and Mark earlier, between the two of them, they have completed roughly 190 community contacts since January 1st. And we'll include that with Kim Ketcher, our impact worker, has been involved in many of those as well. So speaking of Connor and Mark, it's always a pleasure to highlight their ongoing commitment to supporting our downtown. Connor continues to provide ongoing service to the downtown community. He meets regularly with social agencies and businesses, addressing community concerns and proactively engaging those who visit the downtown. This time of year, you'll often find Connor pedaling around on one of our new e-bikes, which gives him the ability to get to the corners of the downtown that at a quicker pace that we might not be able to on foot. Mark and Kim, as you know, earlier this year, we were committed and excited to have Mark O'Connell return to the downtown and partner with crisis response worker Kim Ketcher from our impact team. They are providing a coordinated, proactive, and reactive response to those that attend the core of our downtown and potentially those who may be living with mental health and/or addiction issues. We have seen some tremendous success with this initiative, and I'd like to highlight a few stats as shared through our partners at CMHA, and they provide us monthly updates so we can see the direction in which this initiative is going. So since March 3rd, when the initiative originated with Mark and Kim, through to the end of April, they have had approximately 323 total visits with known clients in the downtown. This would include calls for service that Mark and Kim attend together that may be generated by police. And these are other calls that say Kim would perhaps make a connection with a client. Now, these aren't individual clients. They may be repeats, but what we're acknowledging here is we're getting to the people that need the help. We're getting to the people and providing the service that they need. Within those 325, 85 of those are what Kim refers to as community connections, where she's able to refer them to other social services or other agencies within the downtown or outside that provide that social assistance, provide that help that they need from a health standpoint as well. In that time, Kim has completed what we call 20 complete assessments of individuals. That resulted in 17 occasions where a trip to the emergency was diverted by our officers. So truthfully, we're freeing up more time for our officers to spend on patrol and investigating and engaging in downtown activities. Because we've had a professional do an assessment on an individual before, we don't have to spend that time at the hospital. And then overall, from March to April, we have seen an increase in the total number of client visits that have happened in the downtown. If you speak to Kim and Mark, this dynamic duo, they will tell you that's because the first month it took a bit of time to get their plan and act together, but now that they're up and rolling, they're making a great job connecting with the people that we need to. As you can see, these initiatives are having a significant impact, both positive on our downtown and with our membership. I'm thankful to the dedication of our members and commitment to improving our downtown. And subject to any questions anyone may have, that's my brief update, Chief.
Sorry, Chief, do you have any comments or?
I have a comment that maybe I see Councillor Ault. So I have a comment and then I'll give it back to you because I think Councillor Ault had a question.
Sure.
I just wanted to highlight for the board, for the context. Andrew, if memory serves me correctly, so you referenced we're at about 1,100 of those proactive supports so far this year. And of that 1,100, approximately 500 are downtown. Is that right?
Correct.
So if my memory serves me correctly, we had about 13 overall total 1,300 last year.
Yeah, so last year we would have had about 13 total that were specifically related to special projects and community contact. So I've got the exact numbers here. They're provided to me. Last year in our community contact category that we have for patrol, there's actually approximately 2,800 total community contacts throughout the city of Guelph. The 1,300, Chief, comes from more directed patrol in certain areas and in our downtown. For 2024, we're already at, well, today it is 1,167. So we're almost through a quarter of the year, we're already close to halfway to where we were last year. So we're having tremendous success with buy-in from our membership, but also, I think some of these other initiatives are freeing up time for officers to proactively engage with our downtown community.
Okay, and then the only other thing I wanted to highlight, we're so fortunate to have the partnership we do with CMHA and Helen Fishburne. But I think what Helen would probably remind us, for all of those times where we can give people the support they need and divert or avoid a hospital admission, not only is that less intrusive care for people who need it, but that's also supporting our colleagues at Guelph General as well, because that's resources and time that they can spend with other folks when people get better care at the right time, at the right place from someone like Kim versus us taking them to the hospital. So Andrew, I assume I'm on the right track with that?
Yeah, that's absolutely accurate. And that's consistent with conversations I have when I speak with Helen regularly.
So, and Mr. Chair, that's all I have to add. I'll leave it for questions.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Councillor Alt?
Yeah, thank you. I'm actually going to lead with a comment, first of all. Chief Colby mentioned CMHA, and I think that's quite worthy. I think that there are other partners in the downtown that need to be recognized as well, including perhaps the Royal City Mission, Hope House, and the Community Health Center as well, that really are, for lack of better words, really just keeping a lid on it. And that leads to my question, which is about the same statistics that Chief Colby raised. 1,145 contacts across Guelph, 493 in the downtown. It's fair to say, and this is a political question, when people ask me, downtown Guelph is not receiving preferential treatment. What we're seeing, as the numbers are saying, that we have a responsibility to respond to the downtown in the way that we do.
Yes.
That was a question.
Yeah. So I'll let Andrew can follow up. So I think the level of service that we're providing to the downtown is not a preferential level of service, but an essential level of service. But I would also like to highlight that, as we've discussed numerous times, we do want to continue to enhance our ability to have those proactive engagements with the rest of our city. So I think that there are some areas of our city that and that's part of the multi-year plan we've talked about numerous occasions, is to make sure that we can, as we're providing improved service to the downtown, we want to have similar improvements in all areas of the city, so we can have proactive speed enforcement, proactive just engagement with our citizens, proactive things that we just haven't had the ability to do. And that's, as we've discussed numerous times, that's why we're on kind of a well-supported plan to get there. So that if you're in the South End, North End, East End, or West End, you can see those that improvements like the downtown has experienced. Andrew, thoughts?
Yeah, no, I would agree with your statement, Chief. This isn't a preferential deployment, but I do think what it shows you, as I stated earlier, that when appropriate resources are allocated to a certain location, you can see the benefits of that in the service effectiveness that we are able to provide. And you think 2 full-time CRO officers, community response officers dedicated to the downtown, and there's 1 for the remainder of the city. And then that person is pulled in many different ways, and we don't necessarily have the same effectiveness, and the workload is increased. So I think it's a great example of when we do things and apply appropriate resources, we see the benefits.
And thank you. If you could pass it on to the downtown officers, they're doing Legion work. I appreciate it.
Okay, are there any other questions or comments from other board members? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to our next item. Next item is the approval of the minutes of the open meeting of March 21st, 2024. Can I have a mover? Vice Chair Armstrong, seconded by Councillor Alt. All in favor? Opposed? I declare that item carried. Next item is the approval of the agenda. Now I need a mover and a seconder to approve the agenda, but before we seek approval of the consent agenda, does any board member wish to pull an item from the consent agenda for discussion? Mr. Sharma?
I wish to push poll 7.2 to the discussion agenda so we can learn a little bit more about that from the chief.
Okay. All right, so with the, can Can I have a mover and a seconder then to approve the remainder of the consent agenda? Councillor Alt and Vice Chair Armstrong, all in favor? Opposed? Declare that carried. Okay, next we move to our discussion agenda, and Chief Kobe, I'll call on you
Sure.
to
Now,
address item 7.2.
7.2.
That's the apprehension.
Yes, so absolutely. I actually have Sergeant Dustin Howe. Dustin, you want to turn your camera on? Oh, there he is.
It's on. Yeah.
So I wanted to, so our 2023 annual suspect apprehension pursuit report. Obviously, that's provides a summary of the pursuits that were initiated in 2023, and this is the same time every year, April or May, when we provide these results. I have Dustin here today because I wanted to give Dustin a chance to talk about, in general, the training that we provide our members in relation to pursuits and just overall our approach as an organization in relation to this very important discussion, because public safety is always at the forefront. So Dustin, I'll turn it over to you. And then if anyone has any questions for either Dustin or I, we can chat about that after.
Thanks, Chief. So the training that we provide to our officers, it's mandated through legislative requirements under the Community Safety and Policing Act. It's also informed by the stats that you have before you in the suspect apprehension pursuit report. So we tailor the training to conform to the legislative requirements, but at the same time, it's actually being informed by what's happening in the city of Guelph. So for instance, automated license plate readers became service-wide issued last year, and because of that, we saw an increase in the number of vehicle pursuits. So just this week, actually on Tuesday, we finished our final set of police vehicle operations training days. This training was led by a member who recently spent time at the Ontario Police College, and she's now qualified to be a provincial instructor on police vehicle operations. So our training emphasizes the prevention of pursuits through alternative measures instead of pursuing a vehicle. But if a pursuit does happen, there's ongoing decision making by the officers involved in the pursuit. And finally, the training culminates with simulated vehicle pursuits, which is sort of the scaffolded approach that you would see in real life. You can see in the report, the majority of vehicle pursuits are discontinued due to public safety concerns, which demonstrates, I think, that the training's working. But we also recognize that there could be a time when a vehicle pursuit is necessary. So we train and prepare the officers for those circumstances as well. So I guess to sum up, we train our officers for all eventualities with a spotlight on prevention of and alternatives to pursuits, while always keeping, like the chief said, public safety top of mind.
Thank you. Vice Chair Armstrong?
Trying to find that little microphone. Thank you. That was I'm glad to hear of the training that you're doing, and that it sounds very robust, and I appreciate that. I just wanted, you mentioned that your training is informed by the experience and statistics in Guelph. Is it also informed from experience in other police services and learnings that may come from other events across Ontario in terms of these types of pursuits?
It is, yes. We have a networking throughout the province, and we have a training networking group that provides best practices and updates as situations unfold, and we learn from one another for sure.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from the? Okay, hearing none, I'd like to thank our Mr. Howe for our this update, and for the board. It's very helpful. Gives us great confidence, particularly when this area is very timely at the current point with the tragic occurrence in Toronto recently. So next item I'd like to deal with is our operating and capital budget Q1 quarterly variance report. Chief Kobe?
Sure. Now, I also have Sarah online if anyone has any questions. I guess overall, like for our Q1 report, all measures are in green with respect to finances. There's a few things like from last year's, I know it's in the consent agenda, but for example, there's a number of areas that we're closely monitoring, for example, overtime. And that's alluded to in the report in consent. But last year, for example, we had an unprecedented number of major investigations, including multiple homicide investigations. In addition to having an obvious financial impact, that is a very, very significant wellness impact for our members. I think it's safe to say as an organization, over the last 10 years, we probably may have typically averaged one of those types of investigations a year, some years none. As an organization, we're not built for 4 homicides in 1 year. So those are the types of things that when issues like that happen, those are non-discretionary responses. The community needs to know that we are able to and ready to address those, but the sustainability of doing 4 homicides a year is not. And again, I know I referenced this before about the downtown. This is why we look forward to increasing our ability in those specialized areas over the next year, like 2, 3, and 4 of the multi-year budget that we talked about in the fall, because while we need to fortify the frontline response, we need to have an ability to safely, both for our community and our members, deliver these types of things. $1 million worth of overtime, $1 million over budget is not sustainable every year because it has a wellness impact and a financial one. So high level though, Q1, all areas are in green. We keep close attention to things like our FTE, for example. Right now, our police complement is only 1 under authorized resources, which is really quite good. We have a little bit of attrition here and there, but to have 1, and then a number of civilian positions are being actioned right now, those staffing actions to fill those vacancies. Overall, Sarah, unless you have anything to add, I'll go to the chair for questions.
Okay. Any questions from any members of the board? Okay. Hearing none, we can move on. Chief, can you provide us an update on your monthly report?
I can now. I'm going to, so I'm going to share my screen, and this is always an event because I want to make sure the sound works as well because I have sound. So I'll set the stage for this. So as you know, this was Police Week, and one of the things we've really tried to work at is to constantly develop new ways to engage our community. I believe that if we connect and engage with our community, we can better understand their needs, but also better tell the story and better introduce our community to our members. A big piece of that is giving them some insight into not only what we do, but who's doing it. And so when our members are working in the community, their day jobs may be police officers, but they're moms and dads, coaches, volunteers. And so I'm going to play for you a video that we're quite proud of. We've been building this over the last several months, and this was released publicly this week for the community as part of Police Week. So I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully the sound plays with this. This is about a 10-minute video. So here we go. Now, can I assume everybody can see my screen? Okay. Now, I hope, Mr. Chair, if you want to give me a thumbs up that you hear sound right now.
Okay.
Dad? Dad? Hello? Dad?
911 emergency, do you need police, fire, ambulance?
Guelph is a diverse and vibrant city. It's also one of Canada's fastest growing communities. At the Guelph Police Service, we are committed to ensuring we are well positioned to support our community now and into the future. This includes working with our community partners to make Guelph the healthiest and safest city possible. Our headquarters was built here on Wyndham Street in the 1960s. Since then, our community's population has grown from approximately 38,000 to almost 150,000. The expectation is that within the next 25 years, this will increase to approximately 200,000 residents. We must continue to grow and evolve to ensure we sustain our ability to provide our community with the service they need and deserve in a way that is safe and sustainable for our members. We've recently finished an extensive renovation of our police headquarters. This has resulted in a modern, future-ready facility that will support the long-term needs of our city. What it takes to run the Guelph Police Service is a multi-layered process, and it's currently carried out by approximately 340 dedicated police and civilian members. It's a full team effort, and it all starts here in this building.
It is important for the public to know that civilians are a vital part of the Guelph Police Service. In fact, they make up more than 30% of our team, from the front desk to record keeping, communications, and even in supporting our service's wellness. Their roles may not be as visible as those on the front line, but they're crucial in keeping the service running. Our dispatch center, staffed by trained civilians, handles all emergency and non-emergency calls, directing them to the appropriate department such as ambulance, fire, or OPP, and entering calls for service for our Guelph Police Service officers. Ensuring rapid response while gathering accurate information, they also have to maintain caller safety and provide calm, empathetic support during high-pressure situations. Very often, our call takers are speaking to people at their worst moments.
42 Courier Crescent?
Yes.
And what's going on there?
I came down the stairs and the front door is wide open. I don't see my dad anywhere. He's 73 and he has dementia, and I'm really worried that he's wandered off somewhere.
Okay, and the last time you saw him was yesterday?
Yes.
But their involvement goes beyond initial contact. For instance, in missing person cases, dispatchers continuously coordinate with officers, tracking their searches and liaising with community partners until the missing person is found.
Headquarters TSS-1, sending through a missing persons report for 42 Courier Crescent. If you can start heading that way, I've sent you a photo of the missing male.
TSS-1, 10-4, show me en route.
This first point of contact in our process is crucial, and it is expertly managed by civilian staff.
Our Emergency Operations and Training Center allows us to come together in specific circumstances, such as certain occasions and large events which require coordination with some of our community partners. We will set up in this room with the necessary equipment and run operations from here. This room also serves as our training center. Part of the Guelph Police Service's commitment to excellence is providing our officers and members with the latest resources and opportunities to improve their skills. Having the trust of the community in our capabilities is very important to us, and this training room helps ensure our teams continue to offer the highest level of service to all our citizens. The lineup room is where we have our twice daily briefings. During these briefings, a duty sergeant or staff sergeant will relay to officers any critical current information, as well as missing person cases.
This is John, a 73-year-old male. He has dementia. He's missing from 42 Curry Crescent. His daughter called it this morning, said she hasn't seen him since he went to bed. He was wearing a blue sweater, gray pants. He does like to wear ball hats. He usually doesn't go out by himself. We've contacted the media, taxi, and buses. At this point, you will be deployed to assist with the search. Please be safe.
Part of the Guelph Police Service's vision is to lead with innovative policing that is effective, efficient, economical, and environmentally responsible. We were the first police service in Ontario to commit to a complete marked hybrid fleet. This transition was completed in 2023, and it's something we're all very proud of. It's helped us cut fuel consumption by 25%, maintenance costs by 30%, and with a growing service, this is important and keeps us aligned with the City of Guelph's net zero carbon goals. In 2020, we introduced an innovative feature in our vehicles to enhance public safety. Our cruisers are now equipped with a communication system which provides vehicle-to-vehicle synchronization with regards to lighting and tones. When multiple vehicles are on scene, their lighting patterns can slow down and pulse collectively, which lessens distractions for not only the officers, but also other drivers. Our police vehicles are housed here at our headquarters garage, which fits up to 75 vehicles. Our new e-bikes are also stored here and have individual charging stations. The e-bikes are not only economical and environmentally friendly forms of transportation, but they are also significant advancements in how officers are able to get around. They provide access to areas other vehicles are unable to reach. Due to the pedal assist feature, officers can travel further on an e-bike and still be ready to deal with the call at hand.
Another area where the Guelph Police Service continues to be at the forefront of technology, innovation, and advancement is here in our Forensic Identification Unit. Officers in this unit are responsible for locating, documenting, collecting, processing, and presenting evidence in court. In our new on-site laboratory, we process evidence collected in the field. Some of this evidence is then sent to the Center of Forensic Science. Some of the techniques used while documenting crime scenes include photography, videography, measurements, and sketches. Our forensic identification officers attend serious crime scenes and other major cases. They evaluate physical evidence, including examination for fingerprints, DNA, and other trace evidence, as well as footwear and tool impressions and other matching techniques. Having the ability to conduct much of this analysis here in our state-of-the-art lab allows us to better serve the community and conclude serious investigations more quickly and effectively. In the Forensic Identification Unit, we solve crimes with science.
The Duty Sergeant's Office is the central hub of the station's daily operations, where our frontline sergeants and staff sergeants oversee the operation of the service around the clock. Their role involves monitoring all calls for service, being aware of officers' locations and tracking their movements, as well as listening to the radio chatter between officers and dispatch. They basically have eyes and ears on everything going on in the city. As well, the duty sergeants are responsible for the security of the police station and are able to monitor security cameras both inside and outside of the building. Our dispatch personnel is pretty autonomous, but will occasionally consult with the duty sergeant for call prioritization or guidance on handling specific situations.
Sergeant Pettibies?
Hey, Sergeant. With the dropping temperatures, are you going to call in the tactical team for the missing male?
We'll be calling out the attack team. I've talked to the staff sergeant in charge. He'll be contacting them.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
The Tactics and Rescue Unit has been a part of the Guelph Police Service since the 70s. When people think about tactical officers, they often picture operations in high-risk crime-related incidents, and yes, that is part of what they do, yet there's also the important search and rescue aspects of their duties, which may not be as well known, but is equally important. The Tactics and Rescue Unit plays a vital role in these situations, carrying out operations that require specialized technology and training. A great example of this is their involvement in the Project Lifesaver Guelph Wellington program. Project Lifesaver helps locate wandering and disoriented persons using radio technology. Participants in this program wear a high-frequency transmitter bracelet that can be detected by Project Lifesaver receivers. When a participant in the program is reported missing, the officers are deployed to conduct a search using Project Lifesaver location technology. In cases where a missing person does not have a Project Lifesaver transmitter, or for instances where it isn't applicable, the Tactics and Rescue Unit may utilize a police canine team. Police canine teams are specifically trained in tracking over various terrains and are extremely useful in locating missing persons. They are effective in establishing the general direction for a search, being able to follow the scent of a missing person. Another new technological resource advancement for the Guelph Police Service is the utilization of a remotely piloted aircraft system, or drone. Officers who are licensed pilots are now able to assist with a missing person incident, accessing areas that are harder to search from the ground.
Compassionate service and appropriate community-based crisis response are areas the Guelph Police Service continues to prioritize in our approach to policing. In addition to working closely with Victim Services Wellington to provide support to victims, we also have an important partnership with the Canadian Mental Health Association of Waterloo Wellington. This has transformed the way mental health-related calls for service are handled. The IMPACT team was formed in 2015 and is comprised of specially trained mental health clinicians who are employed by the Canadian Mental Health Association, but operate directly out of the Guelph Police Service headquarters. They attend mental health, addiction, and crisis-related calls for service, alongside police officers when requested and available. The number of calls we get for mental health services is staggering, and being able to provide this type of joint response to mental health situations has resulted in a more comprehensive level of care and significantly reduced the need for emergency room and hospital involvement. The Guelph Police Service is also committed to supporting our members and officers' mental well-being so that they can serve the community effectively. Policing has become more complex, and officers often face very challenging situations. With that in mind, we have established a full-time wellness coordinator role. After critical incidents, officers can meet with a wellness professional to address their mental health needs.
The Guelph Police Service continually strives for excellence, aspiring to be a leader in the ever-evolving world of policing. We've come a long way since the appointment of Guelph's first police officer in 1827. Our members receive excellent training and utilize modern police equipment to deliver truly outstanding service. What has never changed is the dedication, kindness, and professionalism our members bring to their work each day. They are the heart of our service and our greatest asset. They are the ones who infuse this building with purpose and life. Our members are the foundation of the services we provide. Our strength lies in community partnerships, dedicated volunteers, meaningful conversations, and the community relationships we build together. These enable us to effectively fulfill our mission, to enhance the quality of life and ensure the safety of all our citizens. And that's how collectively we move forward together.
Oh, and now, Mr. Chair, you should just have me, not the screen.
Yes, that's right.
Perfect. And so, like I said, approximately 75 or 80 of our members were involved in the development of that video. And the goal was to provide the community insight into the services we provide, but also the members providing that service. And so we look forward now to using this video for quite some time to come. And Scott doesn't have his camera on, but Scott played a big role quarterbacking and leading the development of all the work that went into that. So thank you, Scott. And I'm gonna I just have to, sorry, Mr. Chair, I got to clear off one screen here. And I shouldn't be sharing my screen anymore. If I am, please tell me.
Do not believe that you are. I can't see it anyway.
And then the only other update I had this month was I just wanted to, obviously the board knows it's Police Week. It's an important opportunity for to recognize our members, to thank them and their families, and to also recognize our community for the tremendous support we continue to get. We've seen a lot of progress in the last 5 years, and now with the introduction of things like our video, we really like now we want to really refine how we connect with our community, both in person and things like social media and things like the development of this video. So that's kind of the path over the next several years, is to really leverage everything that's been built, i.e. the headquarters, and now really kind of increase how we can connect with the community. But I welcome any other questions about this or anything else, Mr. Chair, but given Dustin and Andrew's updates, I don't have anything else.
Well, thank you very much, Chief Kobe, and quite frankly, all the members of the Guelph Police Service, with Police Week and certainly with the efforts that have been put into this video. This is a very powerful video, and I have a question that's sort of out of Project Lifesaver. This is the third time I've seen this video, and every time the Project Lifesaver just becomes more and more focused in my mind. Can you give us an idea of how many people are served by that program on an ongoing basis?
I'm coming to you in a sec, Steve or Andrew, if you guys know. Before I do, the public probably doesn't know that not only, so that's one example of a program, Project Lifesaver, that we work with Victim Services, But our victim services, Liz and her team, they're embedded in our building. So they're literally at the front door as someone was to enter our building from our general office. So it's that relationship that we've had for many years that has really allowed us to use programs like this. Andrew or Steve, do you know the number of individuals that might be impacted or supported by this?
Yeah, I can jump in there, Dep. Thanks, Chief. Yeah, and Dustin just shot me a text to remind me. Dustin gave an accurate number of 45 people are currently registered on our program through Guelph Wellington. I was going to say we were up over 40. It's been we've had this program for a number of years. It's been highly successful. It's an older technology, and having been involved in search for many, many years, it's a very powerful, very successful technology. And we're very thankful to the partnerships in the community who support it, and to Liz Kent and her team in Victim Services who coordinate it.
Thank you. Does anybody else have any other board members have a comment or a question? Okay, hearing none, I'm going to ask, is there any new business? Hearing none, I'll declare that item closed. Our next item is our next meeting will be Thursday, June 20th at 2:30 via Teams meeting and live streamed on YouTube. Can I have a motion to adjourn? That's moved by Vice Chair Armstrong and seconded by Mr. Sharma. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.